Hey, this is Yazuki Wolf, and welcome to another BenkyouKai. In our last study session, we went over the first column of Katakana and also added the n sound. And you may remember the first words that we tried out here. We have away, in, on air, and now we're going to be moving on to a few more words that are going to incorporate the Kakiku Keiko column of Katakana. So let's go ahead and get started. So we're sliding past the first column over to the K column, and I'm going to just move it so you could just see the Katakana. Hopefully you all remember the Hiragana. If not, just keep studying it, just keep practicing. I will try to get some tools out in the future, and if they are available, if you're watching this in the future, I'll put it in the description. Otherwise, let's just keep going. We have K plus an A sound makes Ka, so we have Ka, Ki, Ku, Ke, and Ko. Let's go ahead and write these one by one. So starting with the Ka sound, you may feel inclined to start from the top and go down and then over and then across. And I still probably do this sometimes when I'm not really thinking about it, but the supposedly correct order is to go across with this stroke first, and then from the top to the bottom, and get the that as the second stroke. And this would be your Ka sound. You'll notice that this is actually really similar to the Hiragana. It's just a matter of not having the second. It's just a matter of not having that extra kind of dash at the end there. So Hiragana, kana, pretty similar. It's just a simplified form. Next we have ki, and once again you may feel tempted to start from the top and make the line there, then go across, and I may actually do that sometimes when I'm not thinking about it, but the correct order is to go 1, 2, and then 3. Right? Let me write that a little bit cleaner. There we go. Maybe from there. There we go. But other than that, it's pretty simple. It has a slight tilt to it, so it's kind of leaning to the left. This also has some similarities to the ki here. It's just that you're missing the bottom part of it, right? So if you take the Hiragana ki here, and then sort of just take away the bottom half of it, there you go. You basically have the Katakana version. Right, next we have ku, and this is written 1, 2. It's kind of similar to last week. We had u, right? Just you don't have this top part here, and this dash here goes more like that. So kind of similar, but quite different as well. I don't know. There are a number of other ones that look similar to this, and we'll cover those when we get to them. So ku. Oh, there we go. Here's the next one. So ke, that is quite similar. So same thing, except for in this case, you actually, instead of having 2 strokes, it being like 1, 2, you're gonna have 3. So it's 1, 2, and then 3. And you make sure that the second stroke actually goes out past the third stroke. In order to differentiate it from ku. So just one more time, that's ku, 1, 2, and then ke, 1, 2, 3. And then finally we have ko, which is 2 strokes, 1, and then 2. Pretty simple. And also it looks a little bit similar to the Hiragana, just has the opening on the opposite side, I guess. And, you know, it's not quite the same, but you can see some similarity there. Try to compare and contrast them on your own time as well to just kind of figure out your own methods of distinguishing them. That's all for the K sounds. Now let's go ahead and go to the example words and sentences. All right, and you'll remember we have our katakana from last week up here. We're going to be using the same katakana for the a, i, u, e, and o, and we're just adding the K sounds to it. So first up, let's make this a little bit bigger. See if you could read this along with me and then figure out what you think it means. We have I, N, Ku. This one's actually pretty easy. Let's sound it out. Inku. Inku. What could that be? Any guesses? Yes, hopefully you got that right. It is ink, right? Now, the one thing I do have to distinguish about this is that I don't think it's used to mean ink in exactly the same way that we use it in English. I hear this usually referring to like inkjet printers or the ink that you buy for printers. There may be other uses for it. Go ahead and put in the comments if you know of them. But I do know that just recently I was drawing some stuff for Inktober, and I told my wife that I was trying to explain to my wife what Inktober was, and I noticed that the word ink actually didn't make sense to her. So in that context, so maybe it is specifically for printers and maybe some other cases. But go ahead and look that up. I'm going to go through the rest of the words and then I'll go back to the examples. I think that kind of method worked a little bit smoother. So the next one we have is ko-a. Ko-a. This one may be a little bit harder. You have to think a little bit outside the box, but I don't know. You should be able to figure out. Ko-a. Ko-a. Any guesses? This one actually comes up a lot in the gaming industry. Let's see if you could figure it out. It is core. And this is core as in like hardcore. I don't know how often they'll use the term hardcore, but it has basically the same meaning. Like you'll say like core gamers. So in Japanese, koa gamer. So those are like kind of like hardcore gamers versus casual gamers. Although I'm not sure if they take that from the English gaming term hardcore. I think it might be more as just like the core as being the center or the if you have a large population of gamers, the gamers that are on the game the most and supporting it the most, that's generally considered the core. And so you'll say core gamer, or they also say heavy user, which kind of sounds a little like drugs, which may tell you something about what the game industry is turning into, but that's a story for another day. Anyways, let's move on. So let's move right along to the next example. This one is pretty simple, if you could sound this out. So let's see, we have ke, and it's has the no, this, and it has the dash, which is actually called nobashi. So I'm just going to call it that from now on. So nobashi. So that's just telling you to emphasize or to lengthen the sound. So we have ke and then ki. So keiki. Keiki. What could that be? I think you got this one. It is cake. Cake. Yes. So this is pretty simple. Keiki ga suki. I like eating cake. Whatever. I'll have the example sentences in a second, but that one's there's not too much to explain there. Next one. This is also fairly common, and you should be, well, I don't know, this might be a little tricky, but let's see if you could get it. It's ko, and the nobashi makes it ko, and ku. So, koku. Koku. I think I actually gave it away right there with my bad pronunciation. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. You got it? Koku. What could that be? It is Coke. Yes, Coca-Cola. And you actually might even see it sometimes as in kana as Coca-Cola, you know, or actually I don't know if they say Coca-Cola. Yeah, it'd be Coca-Cola. But anyways, if you just see Coke, it'd be Koku. Kind of not a super core term, but yeah, it will come up. And moving down, this one also is a little bit obscure. Sorry, I don't have a lot to work with just the limited lettering that we have at the moment, but this is ka-ki. 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 Can you guess what that is? Ka-ki. Any ganders? I don't know if you'll get this one, but maybe you did. The answer is khaki, as in the color khaki. So like in khaki pants and whatnot. But let's go ahead and quickly go through the example sentences, and then I'll expound upon these a little bit. Alright, so starting off with the first sentence at the top. This is all katakana, but this is katakana I haven't taught you yet, so don't worry too much about it. This is a printer, or purinta. And now we have our vocabulary word here. Can you say it? Yep. Inku. So, printer inku te nande konna ni takai desu ka? Printer ink te nande konna ni takai desu ka? Why is printer ink so this expensive? You know, I'm pretty sure I saw a YouTube video about that at some point that was explaining it all and how it really shouldn't be that expensive. But I don't know, look that up on your own time. I just need an example sentence. So there we go. And once again, that was saying how ink generally seems to be about printers when I hear it here. If you're talking about, I think I might have heard it a couple times in my manga school for drawing, but regular people seem not to understand. Like I said earlier, my wife didn't understand when I was telling her about Inktober. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments if you have more lights to shed on that topic. Okay, moving down to the next example. we have our vocabulary word here at the beginning. This is, say it for me. Yep, koa, or core. So, koa muke no game o tsukuritai desu. Koa muke no game o tsukuritai desu. I want to make a game for the core audience. Core muke is like toward the core, right? And this is referring to core fans. You might also hear that sometimes like core fanu or core na fanu, like the core fans of a game or series or whatnot. And once again, that is something also that I think is mainly used within gaming circles. I don't know if it's used much outside of that. Next example, we have, I'll highlight our vocabulary word here first. So hopefully you can read that on your own, but I'll come to it in a second. So, どんなケーキが好きですか? どんなケーキが好きですか? What type of cake do you like? And don't worry, I will be getting into this grammar just as soon as we finish the katakana. Hopefully we'll get through that quickly, and then you can start making these sentences on your own. But for now, it's a very simple sentence. It comes in handy. You can memorize it right now if you want just to have donna keiki ga suki desu ka? I mean, you could put anything else in there like donna game ga suki desu ka? Donna eiga ga suki desu ka? So eiga is movie. What type of games do you like? What type of movies do you like? What type of food? Donna tabemono ga suki desu ka? Very useful sentence. We'll get into the grammar in the not too distant future, hopefully. Moving on to the next one. So this is just our Coke example. So we're on to the next one. So there's the vocabulary word there, and hopefully you still remember what that is. And we'll get to it in a second. So we have pepushi. You can probably guess what that is. Pepushi yori koku ga suki kana. Pepushi. See, I'm really bad at katakana English. Pepushi yori koku ga suki na. Pepushi yori koku ga suki kana. So I think I like Pepsi more than Coke. I don't know if that's true. I actually might like Pepsi more. I haven't had Pepsi in a long time. I don't see Pepsi as often in Japan. Coke seems to kind of won the cola battle over here. But at any rate, very simple example. Moving on to our last example for the day. Looks like I have my hider kind of hiding part of that. There we go. All right, so vocabulary word is this part right here. Hopefully you can read that on your own. If not, just keep practicing if not, just go over it later on your own time. But here we go. Kaki, iro means color. Iro to kitte, donna imeji suru. Right? So kaki iro to kitte. Right? So kaki iro to kitte, donna imeji suru. And I may have mispronounced image earlier, but once again, that's never one of the things where I just tend to throw in the English pronunciation without thinking about it. So in Japanese, it going to be imeji, and that is image, right? So when you hear the color kaki, what image do you have? And this is kind of interesting to me because apparently it's different for Japan and outside of Japan, because I noticed that my kind of image is probably from khaki pants. I was thinking sort of like a creamy kind of like, I don't know, like sandy color. Whereas in Japan, apparently they think of sort of a smoky green color. And apparently you could test this out on your own. If you have your computer actually set up to write kana, go ahead and write khaki, written in katakana, kaki, into Google, and look at the image results you get there. And then write it with the English spelling and see what the results you get there are. And if the article I read in this Japanese website is correct, the English side will have more kind of like sandy colors, while the Japanese will have more green colors. I don't know, test it out, let me know in the comments if it works. Otherwise, if you have any other questions, comments, or haikus, I don't know, whatever you got, put it in the comments. And until next time, keep studying, live boldly, and be creative. Yoroshiku!